people are saying that it doesn't look like an Indian film. It looks like world class. It looks like Hollywood, for example, if that is a benchmark.
Yeah, it was pretty well planned and scheduled, and so I mean, I enjoy shooting bikes and cars, so it was a treat.
A lot of people they feel that maybe Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika they've not been presented in such a beautiful manner in the recent times.
Saki has very good muscle memory, so a lot of the action stuff I enjoyed shooting with him because he enjoys it. He enjoys being on set. He loves what happens on shoot.
What about Deepika Padukone?
She's also very focused at what she does. She's also athletic and just lovely energies on set. Yeah.
One feedback that you must be getting, I think, unanimously is when Salman and Shah Rukh get together.
When the two of them were together, they again had so much fun on stage, and watching them do what they do, and they were improvising, doing their own thing, in certain places. That was an absolute treat, and all of us knew that there's something special going on while we were shooting it right there.
Satchith, welcome on Connect FM Canada. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Congratulations, first of all, for Pathaan. I think exceptional work. One can talk to you for hours, I believe, because there's so many sequences that one can talk about. But if you can directly start with the lake in Siberia, I think fantastic stuff, man. Because so many people are saying that it doesn't look like an Indian film. It looks like world class. It looks like Hollywood, for example, if that is a benchmark. How did you pull it off?
The lake, yeah, it was tough to shoot there given the weather, and we were at the right time of the year because I'll say a week or two after we left, the place we wouldn't have been able to shoot there because it melts, and then you can't drive on it, you can't ride vehicles on it. So anyway, we worked out the action sequence and figured ways to cover it. We had two Russian arms on the lake, and we had some small red Komodo cameras rigged on the bike. So, and yeah, it was pretty well planned and scheduled, and I mean, I enjoy shooting bikes and cars, so it was a treat.
You're someone so young. When did you pass out from FTI?
I passed out in 2016 and 16.
2016. Okay. And you've mostly done ad films after that.
Yeah, so I did a lot of ads for a lot of films did come my way, but this film in particular had the ingredients that I thought I could engage with creatively. I mean, the genre of the film seemed to have and also like I knew there would the stuff in it, like the car chases, the bike chases, the actions, all those things got me excited, and so yeah, that's one of the reasons it kind of just led me to it. I mean, yeah.
For a layman, for example, how does one merge the cinematography with VFX? What is the shot breakdown like? How does it work?
In the simple way, I mean, the best thing that we try to do is get all of it in camera, as much as possible in camera, and then respect the rules of physics. Then you watch for things like motion blur, you watch for things like depth of field, and whatever needs to be enhanced, we try and enhance. But I think the aim was just to get as much as we could in camera, and therefore you get that realism that is required for some kind of these scenes.
A lot of people they feel that maybe Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika they've not been presented in such a beautiful manner in the recent times. Uh, what exactly was a brief to you, and how much of it was their own physical preparation in terms of working on their bodies, and how did it work?
It was an absolute treat. It was so easy for me because they look great. They actually really worked hard on themselves, and they were as you see them, they were exactly that. And the locations were like selected. Sid had all these in mind before we went there, and so it was actually very easy for me. There was nothing much for me to do. It was all like ready. They look great. The locations are great. We planned it out so well. So, and and the actors like especially SRK has very good muscle memory. So a lot of the action stuff I enjoyed shooting with him because he enjoys it. He enjoys being on set. He loves what happens on shoot, and especially with the action, like he would pay attention to what needed to be done. He would help me several times if I had to like lean over a little bit and I wasn't able to get to the spot. He would get in that position for me. He would lean forward to catch the light. If you're running out of track, he just lean a little forward to know that we wanted a close up. So it was an absolute treat working with him. And just he's always radiating positive energy. It's just amazing.
It's often said that Shah Rukh Khan is very good with technicians in terms of very respectful, very professional. How was your experience?
So I'd shot a couple of ads with him before. He didn't know me by name, I think, initially. But our relationship grew from the beginning, and like I said, he enjoys being on set. And I mean, he enjoys the craft of making a film. You know, he really, really enjoys it, and it shows in his work. He takes every little, even if it's a over-the-shoulder shot, he'd come and sit there where his shoulders out of focus, but he would be there. And he's also like he would help say other junior actors around him or whatever it is. You know, his presence was. I think it just made everything much better. Because how he spread from one person to the other, it was infectious. So, I mean, hats off to him, and it was an absolute treat to work with him.
What about Deepika Padukone?
Same with her. I mean, also they're such nice people, and they just made me feel so comfortable. And she's also very focused at what she does. She's also athletic and just lovely energies on set. Yeah, you know, there's no hierarchy. We all just felt like friends working, and Sid as well. And our collaboration kind of just got better and better. And he understood what I liked. I understood what he wanted. He loves to shoot fast. I also love to shoot fast. And it was kind of like this game that went on. It was a lot of fun.
I spoke to five fans of John Abraham from various parts of the world, and all of them, they were girls. And I asked them which scene from Pathaan is your personal favorite. Four of them, they spoke about the pool scene, and they gave like very academic sort of justifications why they like it. And then the Shairi said as well that we like the way he looked and his physique as well. How was the mood like when you guys shot for that particular scene?
It was freezing, huh? The water, the wind, there was such cold wind blowing, and the actors were really like, it was really cold for everyone. We all had like I mean, I had three t-shirts and one jacket on top, and in the pool also, it was really tough on them, but they pulled it off because that's how dedicated they were to the scene, and it was not easy at all, I can tell you. And he trained. I mean, also they were so fit for this film. I mean, I'm sure there was so much prep that went into it, and it just shows on screen. Again, for me, it was effortless. Like I said, you just point the camera. The location's great. Actors are fantastic. So how can you go wrong?
Two songs, Besharam Rang and Jhume Jo Pathaan. But I think, in my personal experience, and I've been around for many years now, more than 1.5 decades, I've rarely seen such sort of response for a song in a movie, because it's not merely India, and it is India because, be it Malegaon, be it Amravati, be it Jaipur, be it Delhi, Agra, and everywhere, and then it's Spain, it's Peru, and it's France, and it's Germany, it's US. It's crazy, like absolutely crazy. So, and both the songs, I think they have been produced beautifully, very very lavishly, no cutting corners. How was the experience, and how was once you saw the response, how did it feel like?
So I think Sid always has a knack for music and getting something right in a song that makes things memorable. And whether we really choreographed Visharam Rang so well, keeping in mind the light part, the way what we would shoot each day, optimizing each location, turn this way, something else, you look the other way, it becomes another thing. So it was, and Adisa being the strong pillar of support. I mean, the scheduling and the planning was so good. It just made my life that much easier. And the hook step, I think, with Jumejo was like, even on set, while waiting, I could see people on the side doing the hook step. And then we knew, okay, there's something going on with this hook step. People are going to catch it.
Besharam Rang, for example, I think shot very aesthetically. It's a glamorous song, but shot very aesthetically. What was the brief like?
It was quite well broken down by Vaibhavi. She really knew what she wanted, and we spoke on the recce. So she had seen these locations once earlier, and she'd done all her prep. And then we went there before the shoot, and she knew exactly what she wanted. She knew, okay, this is how we introduce her. This is where we move. Maybe we do a steady cam here and move through this, and we turn, and we just need a close up right here. It was just so. I mean, she just knew exactly what she wanted. and which is a treat when someone comes with so much planning that you also now are like you need to give your best. So so that was fun. That was really good. And I'm telling you, the weather was very difficult. Uh, there were towels and heaters right outside frame. Every time the camera was called cut, they would rush in, and cover the actors and the dancers and everyone.
Even for Besharam Rang.
Visharam Brang, there wasn't the wind wasn't as biting cold as it was in Besharam Brang it was very cold, yes. Especially Besharam Brang. In Jume Jo Pathaan, there was still, in the streets and there wasn't that biting cold wind, but there was rain. There were so many things to tackle.
When something becomes big, I think smallest of things they get noticed. Like say for example, when Shah Rukh Khan is doing that, that salam wala step, I think he's done it like very stylishly. But then once people are seeing this movie like 4 times, 5 times, I've spoken to fans who've seen it like say 4, 5 times in the first week itself. उसके बाद तो कितनी बार देखा होगा पता नहीं है. People start talking about the fact कि camera angle बड़ा अच्छा था when he's doing like this. The camera is like is coming on him very nicely. Maybe the light is accentuating his smile. Do you get that feedback? Does it in a way give you some sense that how maybe you can utilize in your future works as well? How people respond to things?
So, see, a lot of these things many of these things, although everything was planned, a lot of things were improvised on set. Even throughout the film, the other parts of the film, they loves to react to what's going on set, and so did the actors. So all these small gestures and things that would happen with actors, just like that, I'll be like, okay, listen, let's shoot in this direction and look at this at this time of the day. This is going to be great for us in terms of light. And then Sid would say, bring something. Then the actor would bring something. So it all happened in the moment. I mean, there were many times where things happened right in front of the camera, like on the day. So in addition to all the planning, so there, it was like music. Or I would say it was like a dance also many times, like with the actor and the camera, especially for the action stuff. Maybe I'm deviating, but it really truly did feel like a dance between the actor and the camera because you have to find the sweet spot to cover the action best and get there in time and get out of it again. And you're doing it in this choreography with you, with the actor and the camera. So it's fantastic. I mean, it was an absolute treat.
If you talk about the action sequence between John and Shah Rukh in Dubai, for example, brilliantly shot. I think once again, as a lot of people are saying, it doesn't seem like an Indian film. Because the idea is it just goes on and on and on. It's not merely like say like a 30-second scene or like a 1 minute scene. It just goes on and on, and you keep on getting this sense of wonder that my God, this was something which was. Are we watching like an Indian film or we are watching Mission Impossible?
So, I mean, the idea to keep things real and have this sense of realism and action, that was something very early on we decided to keep. And, that's when there are these near misses that feel dangerous. And that's what really holds, that's the best part of action, to keep things as real as they are and to follow the laws of physics, that being a guiding principle.
One feedback that you must be getting, I think, unanimously is when Salman and Shah Rukh get together, Pathaan and Tiger, because I think that sequence, both in the middle as well as in the last part of it, is something that people are just going crazy about. How was the experience of shooting both the big Khans?
It was a lot of fun, on set, and also his entry. So Siddharth loves the entries of all these actors, and they are built with a lot of precision and even Salman's entry, for example, is through sound. Initially, we hear somebody on top of the train, and we slowly build up the anticipation, and then his scarf enters. So bit by bit, there's this aura, and when the two of them were together, they again had so much fun on stage, and watching them do what they do, and they were improvising, doing their own thing, in certain places. That was an absolute treat, and all of us knew that there's something special going on while we were shooting it right there.
Both the Khans, they're having those big guns and they're shooting like say in this direction. It's like a poster moment. You can make like a poster. You can freeze that moment. It's that captivating.
Yeah.
So how are you shooting it? Like were you in air? What exactly was happening?
So in that particular shot, I want to tell you, like while they were firing, at that point, Salman puts his hand on SRK's shoulder. That was something he did by himself, and he just looked at him, and that was so cool. He just did it out of the blue on the shot while we were shooting. So yeah, there were these kind of things that I think made the whole bit with the two of them very special. And even their dialogues towards the end uh, was something that they brought uh, by themselves. Of course, Sid and Adi sir planned a lot of things with them, but what was they did a lot of improvising from what I
So you mean to say that that entire conversation in the end, that Hamaibad Kaun, was their idea?
they brought their sensibilities to it. I think the idea was Sid and Adi's, but the way they pulled it off and the how, I mean, it was just them being them, and there's something very special about that.
In the recent times, a lot of things are being said about, say, Hindi films, and that why should people go into theaters? Um, जो वो particular sequence है when the train is derailed and they're running towards the the railway track, the whatever remains of railway track are remaining, and then they finally jump and they catch hold of it. So those are the sort of moments that people go to theaters for. That gives you your money's worth and maybe more. What was the short breakdown like for that particular scene? How did you do it?
So, in collaboration with the action directors and Sid, this sequence was kind of designed beforehand, and they trained for the actors also trained a lot for it, and I would say it was some of these things were really specific in terms of how they need to be achieved, and we kind of went with that plan and figured what is the best way to do it. From on paper itself, we knew that okay, this is the best angle to see this in, and we will have them leap from here, and we'll cover it this way. So yeah, I think it was just a matter of planning.
All the action sequences, all the outdoor sequences are something that are scintillating. But you also have these in the closed doors, closed walls sequences, like say between say Dimple G and Ashutosh Rana and all those. And the idea is like for a movie to work on a whole, like those scenes were very important, that they need to people should not feel bored. So how did you guys strike that balance, that when the indoor scenes are there as well, so they should be equally captivating?
The look of each of these sets were discussed beforehand, and many times I would bring a reference and show Sid and Rajat, our production designer, and say, "Okay, listen, can we try this color?" I would say, "Hey," I would show them a reference and say, "Hey, can you try? Should we try this color in the set? And can we have these practicals baked into the set, which would help me light it also?" And so, based on the set that was constructed, Sid loves to be in the moment. So he would come on set, understand the space. And that's the way he works, which is fantastic, which is great, which is challenging, but it's great. And he'd be like, okay, let's shoot here. Because at that moment, he felt that shooting at this corner of the set works best for the scene. And so that constant sense of being in the moment and finding the best situation, finding the best way to, cover a scene, that was consistent throughout the whether we were outdoors or indoors. The same thought process kept us going. So this instinctive reacting to our environment was, I think, very important in maintaining a certain feel that the film has.
Okay, and you will be shooting Fighter as well for Siddharth.
Yes,
Ritik and Deepika is going to be there as well.
yes, yes.
So another I think action adventure, and I'm sure that lots to look forward to in that movie as well.
Very different, but yeah, a lot of exciting things.